Well, welcome everyone to this seminar series. This is the first of many where, running your business in quarantine, a survival guide. I'm going to go over the agenda in a little bit, but just for some housekeeping, uh, if you can be on camera, I think I'm all about humanizing the experience, but also creating as much of a good experience as possible. So if you turn your camera on, turn it on. We don't care what you're looking like, what you have on, because we're all doing the same thing. But you can also do a backdrop change too. And those are some hacks and tricks we're going to go over today as well in this seminar here. If you can't do it for this time, but you want to come on next time for the seminars, be camera ready. I think we're a community here, and we want to have people feel connected the best we can since we're all virtual. So hopefully that you guys can participate. If you need to ask any questions, I want to make this as interactive as possible. You can ask a chat. I might not be able to answer all your questions here, but Kelly, who's my marketing operations manager, she's on here too. She might be able to answer some of those. Anything that we can't answer today, we're going to follow up. We're going to make sure that we personalize this experience, because this is for you as best as we can. You can reach out to me and my team. Someone's going to get back to you. We're going to send this whole thing to you at the end of this. This is going to get recorded. We're going to send you the links. So everything I'm talking about, we'll send you resources and links, because I really want you guys to focus. So I really want you guys to focus on being present and being mindful, because the difference between wanting and achieving is discipline. So I'm asking you guys to be disciplined, to not go on your phone, to not browse Google, to not be on Amazon, to not be watching CNN TV. I know you're leaning and watching TV, Dan, over there, so turn that TV off. So this is your time. You guys took the time to come here today, to be here, to better yourself, to better your company, to better your employees. So, I'm going to make sure every second of your time is not wasted. So I want to make sure that, you guys are in the right mindset, to ready to, to pay attention, but also to contribute too, because we're all here together as a community. And I don't think I missed anything else, Kelly, right? I think that's from a communication standpoint. I think we're good there. All right, and everyone's going to be muted. And if you do really need to but when you move your mouse, the toolbar comes up, because again, I'm not sure if you guys are avid Zoom users. When that toolbar comes up, there's a participation icon right there. When you see that, you'll see that you can raise your hand. There's an icon like an emoji. Under the more section, which is the three dots, you can actually do thumbs up or thumbs down. So if you guys are liking what I'm saying or not saying, let me know. Either way, if you really like what I'm saying, give me an applause. But this is a way for you guys to kind of gauge, and this is, if you guys are doing these types of meetings in the future, it's a good way to engage the feel of what's happening in that webinar, or that, maybe that presentation that you're having with a prospect or a customer, if it's in a group setting. So, all right, guys, we're going to kick it off here, and ready to go. So a little bit about me, because some folks know me, some people did not know me. So who's this guy Kham, and why should I even listen to him? So I've been doing marketing and sales and customer success, that type of, in that industry, and helping businesses for over 15 years. And the three buckets that we do focus on is the marketing, the sales, and the customer success, and that whole buyer's journey, understanding that the customer buyer's journey, but also the buyer's buyer journey. So understanding that is going to help you. I want you thinking about that too, as we're going through these different slides today. And what does that look like? What does that look like now? Because things are definitely shifting. People's mentality is shifting, how their behavior is shifting, their psychology is shifting. I'm also a business advisor for several different chambers of commerce and business associations. We provide free, like 30 minutes and half an hour consultations for folks all the time. So that's why I'm really happy and excited to do this webinar today with everyone, because this is my natural state. So I'm educating and helping however I can. My whole team is actually remote, nationally and locally. So for us, this is actually business as usual. Again, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how I do that with my team, and how you can do that with your team. My team is here, like locally. We do meet clients face to face when we could have, but I do have, even the guys are like 20 minutes away. They actually prefer remote because it's so much more efficient. And it always comes down to ROI and KPI driven strategies. That's our approach to everything for our clients. Return on investment, KPIs are key performance indicators. What are all the different success metrics that are happening? And I'm going to touch upon that throughout this too. Like, what are some success metrics for you guys to know things are working for you on remote communication, remote customer service, remote sales, like all those things. Right. So home office.
Hey, Kham.
Yep.
Just share your screen.
Oh, I am so sorry, guys.
Thanks.
I was going through all that and I did not share my screen. I do apologize. So that even someone like myself, I make mistakes and we do this all the time. Okay, let me just move my Zoom bar. I'm sure you guys see Zoom bar is always in the way, right? All right. So yeah, this is the title and this is the frame I was saying, no, be the difference between wanting and achieving. I know we got some new people that just jumped on. Really, I want you guys to be mindful of your time today and be focused because we have a lot to cover. I talk fast, but I want to get enough time for you to have questions so that I can try to personalize this as much as I can for you. If I can't address some of your questions, my team can answer those after. We'll follow up with you because I want to make sure that you guys get as much value in personal attention. So I was just quickly going over my background. 15 years, I've been doing marketing and sales and customer success, training and advising, business advisor. My team is national and remote, and it's all about ROI and KPIs. Their home office. This is the home office I have now. Looks nice and tidy because this is actually my wife's home office and not my home office. But we created a little desk here on the bottom left. This is actually my kids' little desk. So now that they're home with us, we're making them do a little bit work too. So my wife put me, if you guys know this guy from Office Space, they sent him to the basement with the stapler. That's what she did with me. She took all of my junk and gave me a stapler and she told me to go downstairs in the basement. So this is where my office is. And this is what my office looks like. So I have a split screen here. As you see me, I'm turning my head. When I'm doing this presentation, I'm using two screens. And it's going to optimize the way how you can communicate without having one main screen taking up a lot of space. So I always have water. So if you're working remotely, what do you guys need, right? I have a notepad, I have my earbuds, and I have right here on the left side, I have an organizer because we have a lot of different wires, and I have all my little file systems here. And my kids always leave like artwork on my desk. So they leave me signs and notes all the time. So here's me today. You guys, this is my outfit. I call it like pro-cash leisure, right? You got professional, casual, leisure. So on the top half, we look professional. On the bottom half, yeah, I'm rocking my sweatpants. I'm sure you guys are too. So it's okay, you know, as long as you guys look presentable and you know your audience when you're on here. So, you know, dress however comfortable, professional you need to dress. Of course, if it's a really professional setting, you got to put on that sport coat and that shirt and tie. Because if that's the level that you did face to face, you should do the same thing here virtually. But I have a stand-up desk, and I have this like fatigue mat. So if you can also get a stand-up desk that's just modular, so it's not the whole desk. I think if we're working virtually, these are some tips and stuff that kind of help getting you guys moving. And then I have my Wii and the projector here for the kids. This is kind of where we use their movies. I see a little castle here. So yeah, I'm down in the corner here with me and the kids. That's what my wife does to us, but it's all good. I got all this big space. All right, so today's agenda for today, the importance of marketing to protect your business. Best practices and tools. We're going to talk about virtual sales, virtual marketing, virtual operations, and a rapid response business plan. It's something that we coined, and that's what we're doing for all of our clients right now. Like, what's that pivot look like? You know, and why do you need one? And then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. But yeah, definitely don't be like these guys here. We're all remote, right? So why are you here today? You retain and grow customer base, and understanding what are the pros and cons, the threats, the concerns, the activities that you need to take. You know, we want to gather ideas for proactive messaging that you're sending out to your current clients. and hopefully from hearing from myself and if you guys are willing to share other inspiration and ideas on how to educate, promote, and sell virtually. And then I'm going to share all the tools and how to be productive with those type of online tools. Right. If you guys are Game of Thrones fans, so Arya here, she beat all the White Walkers. So let's, we're in a very dire and crisis situation. And it's definitely serious for me too, but I want to make sure that we're I'm trying to lighten things up a little bit, guys, but let's do this and let's crush it. So when there's a common quote right here, and it's in a lot of different places if you're researching how to do marketing, how to survive a recession or downturn economy. When times are good, you should market. When times are bad, you must market. There's tons of third-party articles out there that speaks to this. So investing the time and resources to high-level strategic PR and marketing activities by Adweek. Some compelling information here. Sales of companies that marketed aggressively during a downturn actually grew 275% over those that didn't. 86% of businesses are top of mind when it comes for consumers who are looking at making a decision now. So again, being in digital space, how are you putting your name out there to be top of mind? Because it does influence consumers' behavior. And Harvard's Business Review says that companies that continue to market during the economy downturn were 20% ahead of where they were before the recession. And there's another data there. Actually, after getting out of a recession, they're still actually negative 7%. So there's a huge amount of emphasis and focus about making sure you guys are not really retracting, but in a way, the best you can, right? Because I know there's a lot of, I'm a CEO, I own a business just like a lot of you guys too. It's like making the right choices that are strategic, but that's going to bring the best value to keep you guys viable, pay the bills, and keep your shop open. So I'm going to open this up to some of you guys in the chat. What are some of the challenges you're facing right now? If you guys can share some of these, and I'll get a chance to kind of see from a community standpoint if you guys are all doing the same thing. So if you move your mouse a little bit, you'll see there's a section for you guys to do chat on that toolbar. And if anyone wants to jump in, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me a question as well. Or let me know, share with the group what are some challenges you guys are facing right now. All right, let's see. How often do we get a message out there? There's a question. Decide what kind of marketing to do so we don't come across tone deaf. Yep, messaging is, if it's to your customers, it's immediate. You should be connecting with your customers right away. You got to get an idea of what do they feel like, what's going on with them. And obviously you have to support, but depending on your business, if your business typically has a high touch point, when business as usual, that you have a lot of high touch points, you should try to mimic that same messaging. We're going to go over some tools on using Zoom to get them talking to you personally. You can use another tool like Loom, which I'm going to touch upon again in this webinar, and send them some video links about you speaking. All right, so let's see. Not used to being remote. Reaction is canceling training or coaching versus looking at different options. All right. Let's see. Jeff says no one feels safe to visit or spend what they don't really need to. All right. So Sharon, make sure all the information that we send is accurate and working at full throttle to get it out there is support of business, and to not put too much out, striking the right balance. Yep. Encouraging to use email rather than phones because we are not answering our phones remotely. Right? That's where if you're open to Zoom, you can really have a more personalized conversation versus a phone, because you have that video aspect too, and you can still do screen share. Trying to figure out what is the best way to assist my clients and let them know that I'm here, even though it must be remote at this point. So I've been teaching them how to use Zoom, streamlining information, and more weekly touches. Okay, great. And keep adding, guys, as we're going through here, because it'd be great to kind of hear and see what everyone's going through. So there's probably some overlap. All right. All right, so on the virtual sales side and sales and account management, right? Nurture, retain, and support your existing customers. So we saw how be proactive in your outreach. Do a phone call, do an email, do a little video. You can even record yourself in Zoom, and then it becomes a little file, and you can actually send that in an email as an attachment. You can do Loom too. So again, I'm going to go through Loom. Loom is a lot easier and faster. It doesn't really take it doesn't take up any bandwidth or memory of your computer. It's a link, and I use Loom all the time. So that video here in the bottom left corner, as you see, that's a Loom video, LOOM. And I was doing basically our message of how we're going through the COVID-19 and what does that look like for us and the engagement look like for us. So I did this Loom video. I attached it into the message in the email body, and I said, please watch this video first. Again, I'm trying to humanize the experience as much as possible. And I also did this video daily internally to my team. So at the end of because a lot of the team members are, their minds are racing. They're wondering, what does my job look like? What does what does the company look like? So doing a little Loom video, if you're a leader or a manager, you can put that video and drop it into an email blast to everyone. It's another way to get everyone to see, the confidence in your tone or what it is that you're trying to share and get across. That's going to be a lot more powerful than the email. So we're going to go over like virtual products and services, virtual consultation and support. Some people mentioned about doing some training, or how do I do training? Some ideas that we've seen is like e-gift cards. So some of our clients were actually creating these e-gift cards where you can, almost like a Groupon, you can get people to purchase something now. Like more in the future, you can then bring that gift card and use that. So, or lock in certain prices or discounts or promotions or packages. So utilizing gift cards for that now, and then e-commerce. If you are selling something now, transitioning that to e-commerce and selling online. These are some ideas and some things that we're doing right now with our clients. So just to set the premise of this webinar, we have a lot of high level things. I'm gonna give you some specific scenarios for more granular things, but throughout this series, we are gonna do these every Friday. We're gonna get deeper dive into each of these. So if someone really wants to understand like how are we doing these e-gift cards or e-commerce, those will actually be subset series here. Because what I want to accomplish today is to let you guys get a good framework of the opportunities and the innovative ways to have this rapid response business plan that you can make for yourself, but also how to work remotely and manage team members remotely. So from a customer service standpoint, you can see here, having a few people, if it's the owner and maybe the salesperson or a customer service person, it's nice to kind of welcome that customer and just kind of show, hey, we're still here for you. So if you can have more people on the call, that's very powerful. If you can just record the call, because you can't get them, because right now a lot of people are really busy, and again, recording it and then sending that link is going to be really, really helpful. So immediately, if I can't stress this enough, if you haven't reached out to all your clients yet, please make sure you guys do that today and do it multiple times. This responsibility is not just on you if you're the owner, but it's your team. Delegate, have your team reach out too as well. And if about 1 to 3 times a week, because businesses are transitioning and it's a scary time. So you're making these decisions. You're seeing people making decisions on a daily basis. That decisions that someone's making today almost feels like a week, right? It's everything's compounding. So make sure you're having some communication touch points multiple times to your current clients, and then also to your team members if you can as well, to keep that communication open. So utilizing like Loom, Zoom, email calls, and this AI chatbot. This is the last thing on here, and the chatbot is a great way to communicate the closest to you a human being, because if someone comes into you, right, if you're a financial advisor, they want to come down and sit down with you, but unfortunately you can't do that right now. If someone comes in and they have a question about a product or service, they usually talk to someone at the desk or behind the counter. You can't do that right now. So using an AI chatbot, these are some companies that provide that: Drift, LivePerson, Intercom. We use Drift. We feel like Drift is actually a lot more robust than these other businesses, but it really depends on the features that you need and the budget that you have. So for example, right now, the old way, if someone goes to your website, they fill out a form, they do an email, it goes into your CRM if you have one, you qualify them, you call them, right? Now with Drift, with this bot in the corner, you can actually interact with someone right away, instantaneously. Because right now we're all going digital. You're on the website. They want to learn more information, what's happening with, like, from a customer service standpoint. You can answer all those questions right there, and you can have a live conversation with them. Or if from a sales standpoint, someone's interested, like IT companies, for example, they're for cybersecurity and networking. They're getting a lot of probably outreach right now to kind of set up. How do we set up teams remotely and make a secure network? So they can start, this chatbot can have a lot of that personal feel. I'm going to give you guys an example. So if you go here to this website here, and then this bot pops up. Again, you can have your face here. I mean, people do know it's a bot. You're not trying to trick them. At any time you can overtake it. So I know you're busy running your business. So you click on this and you make it very easy. It's not like traditional bots where you're just having a conversation. You can preset a workflow. Think of it like an email drip campaign where you're having different triggers. So that's what's happening here. You're building out, it's called a playbook. So you're trying to make it as conversational as possible. Sometimes, but not all the time. So that triggers another set of questions. I'm thinking of switching from QuickBooks. And two options. Yes, I'd like to speak to someone now. So if you have a sales team, if you click on this, this will route and hunt to someone that is online, that's a sales team. If it's yourself, it can ping you, because this will actually ping you on your phone, on your computer. If you're using Slack, which is a communication platform, it can ping you there. So there's a lot of ways that this will ping you. If you want to schedule, that's the other goal, is that you want to get that meeting right away. Because if you can't be online and you're not available, because again, you're running a business and you can't be behind the computer, you can ask them to set an appointment. So great, just one quick question. I do not own a small business. I own a small business. Okay. And then it's like a conversation. What's your number? So it looks like now this person, Nabel, is going to connect with me because I'm pretty much qualified. So they're trying to bring a live human person to actually chat with me. If this person wasn't available, there would be a counter that pops up and you can actually book time right away. So you want to get that conversion immediately if you can. So this is how it works here. What are your thoughts here, guys? Just in the chat, you can chat or unmute yourself. Like, is that something you feel that would be helpful in some applications for you? You can hit yes or no on the participation, or you can just type yes or no on the chat. Okay.
I definitely would need to investigate it further, because it seems like all my questions that I receive from people would be more personal.
Yes, and it can just ping you. So like what, again, like if they wanted to, so how do you handle it now, Jeff, when someone comes in, if it's personal? Are they coming into like your office or your building?
Initially with the phone, typically, or over email. So, but the questions are not general. They're usually very specific.
Yeah, that example had a lot of specific like qualifying questions. Again, you can just engage and say whatever questions you typically do now when you're on the phone with someone, you can have the same thing. All it is once someone engages with you, they already have a connection and they're not going to go try to maybe find help somewhere else. So what we've seen about 6% conversions with some type of chat bot on the website. So it does help retain and helps with the conversions. And again, not all these solutions might not be applicable to you, but it is for some folks. So I'm just giving you guys examples here. All right, so then how do I make a sale without a handshake, right? Or how am I, educating and bringing value without being face to face? So we're gonna go over these next tools here, which is like Loom, HubSpot, Tracking Analytics, Proposify, and Asana. Some of us actually already are using the hack now to change the background. You can do that in Zoom settings. You can also Google it too, and they'll show you actually how to change the background if you guys don't have the right background you want to do. Just a little case study here. So back in the 1920s, Kellogg doubled its ad spend. And what came out of that, they actually innovated what we all know now is Rice Krispies. And their profit grew by about 30%. And now they became a leader, maintaining the position for decades. So in the downturn for them, they definitely pivoted in how they wanted to run their business. We're not going to go through all these, but these are main softwares that are relevant to you. And again, we're going to send you this list so you can try it out, because some of these are free, some of them have a small investment, but the features and benefits of each of them have to align with what you're trying to accomplish. But at the end of the day, they're video and virtual calls. So here are some scenarios you can use it. Humanize the experience. Just like what we're doing now here in this Zoom meeting, you can humanize that experience because you're doing it in video live. You can do presentations, you can do product demos, there's collaborations. My team and I use this all the time for collaborating internally, and then approval process too. So if you're screen sharing, or if you want to even hold the product or something, or maybe like I heard there's a local pottery place here who you can order your pottery in the colors. You can just come by, pick it up, and you're done. You drop it off, and they will actually throw it in the oven and cook it. So maybe that person can say, hey, here's how it came out, how it looked. What do you think? So again, utilizing these tools to kind of humanize the experience the best as you can. Education, no brainer there for using these types of webinars. Following up with internal people, follow up external people, customer service, FAQ. I spoke to a VP of sales. He was speaking with a wife, and she said, I need to have my husband take a look at this too. So she has a few different questions that the husband asked. And so I told him, just record yourself answering the questions in Zoom and then send the link, or in Loom, really, it's faster than send her the link. What happens is you start to create more content, and you're creating more content. Now you have this FAQ that you can actually put on your website, but you can also start building a training document to maybe your customer service reps or your salespeople. Like, here's the conversations I've had. Here's how I would reply back. So we call that a wiki, almost like Wikipedia. So you can have an internal wiki and break it down by different things, like marketing wiki, sales wiki, operations wiki, customer service wiki. So there's a lot of benefits of creating these digital assets. So Loom is free. It's a Chrome extension, and you can do screen share cam. So your head could be on the bottom corner or full. It's very similar to Zoom. The thing with Loom is it becomes a link instantaneously. So right after I finish doing a screen share, or if I want to share maybe a piece of artwork, or we're designing a flyer for a client, I can say, here's where we move the button, here's the color. I just want you to approve this email, make sure the email is accurate here and the date and time is accurate. And then I hit done, and I get a link immediately, and I can drop that right into an email, and then I can also find out if someone opened it. So this is what it looks like. You'll get, if you want to, again, humanizing experience, you can have yourself here on the corner, or you can turn off the camera. You'll get the little link right here. It says copy link on the top right, and you can rename it. It says Loom free screen video recording, but I name all of my files. So I'll say like flyer approval for ABC company. And you can share it with multiple people, and then you can also make folders too. So I have different folders, all these different Loom videos that I create. If it's a client, I actually create different client folders. So however you want to do your organization, you can do that here. And Loom is amazing. I've had a couple people that come back to me and said, thank you for giving me the advice of using Loom. We were able to close 2 larger new prospects because I was able to follow up in a more personalized aspect versus just sending an email. So of course, using Zoom, if you if you're if you're using what you need to change your background, so you can see one option on the right, you have all the kids and everyone here, or option on the left is you have this fake background of like looking like you're in an office setting, but really you have your kids running around crazy. My background is real, so I have my golf balls here and everything. My kids are not back here. Yeah, you probably might see them coming down eventually. All right, so you have all this information. Where is it housed? You know, people use Excel sheets a lot, but there's sales CRMs. HubSpot is free. That CRM is free. You have Salesforce, Pipedrive, Monday. So if you're managing, so these are different pipelines. So if you're looking at appointment schedule to prospecting to all the way down to reach out, you can create as many stages as possible. You can actually drag it. You can do a list view, or you can do this card view, this Kanban view. And if you're using something like Salesforce, okay, that's great. I have an idea of all the different things I'm working on from a sales standpoint. What are the metrics behind all this stuff? So instead of sitting down with your team members one-on-one, utilizing software like this to track all the different, even clients, you can still track clients as well on here. So you're just making sure like your metrics, the revenue and the projected revenue forecast, everything is so cash minded and revenue minded. Having powerful data like this is helpful versus just having an Excel sheet. So booking appointments. The Calendly, Doodle, and Drift. We heard Drift earlier. You can book appointments that have their own Doodle. A lot of folks use Doodle. And Calendly, I actually use Calendly a lot myself. The very easy interface. It syncs to your Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar. You want to engage people. If they're looking for service, again, avoiding the email follow-up is, again, this is free. You can get one block of time. If it's a 10-minute meeting, a 30-minute meeting, Calendly is free. I think for their like unlimited blocks of time, it's $9. And a lot of people use Doodle. This is free as well. So you can coordinate with your team. If you notice this here, you can coordinate multiple people on the right side. We've used this actually for like organizing meetings with board members. And then Drift. So if someone's on your website and they're engaging with you, great, let's set up some time to chat, or let me connect you with one of our customer service rep, or let me connect you with our product manager or a manager. You can set that all up right here. So a lot of folks have proposals that we convert to PDFs or Word, right? So you're connecting with people and then you send them a proposal via email. How do you know though, what are they looking at? Or if they haven't got back to you, what's happening? Like, why haven't they got back to you? So these are two really popular proposal softwares that you can upload your proposal. And when you're presenting your proposal, you're using, going back to Loom, I'll bring up the PDF and I actually will present and walk them through the proposal. Again, we're doing this virtually and I'm using Zoom to do my conference. And then if I can't have them live, I'm using Loom because I'm recording myself and it's much faster. And then you can really use this in any screen share software. Make sure you have your video on. Again, when you send a proposal or a link and something you're going through it, try to have your face in the corner somewhere to humanize that experience. So with Proposify, you ever wonder like why someone hasn't got back to you? You can look at this pie chart. Are they looking at the scope of work? Are they looking at the budget? Are they looking at the terms and condition? What is taking up the most time? They're spending 3 minutes maybe on the scope of work. So you'll get analytics insight. You might follow up with that person. Let's say it's Steve, and say, "Hey, Steve, just want to follow up with you. This is Kham. I know that we talked about a lot of complicated things here for you, and do you have any questions about the scope of work?" So it makes it seem like you're actually reading their mind. And actually, Kham, thanks for following up. I was actually confused about this or that part of the scope of work. If it's a budgeting thing, which that's a reality, especially right now, follow up. Hey, I know that money is really tight right now, and we really have to be cognitive about where we're investing our money. Do you have any questions about the investment here on this on the proposal? So having this analytics is so powerful because you can also find out when they're clicking the proposal, so you can follow up within that same day. I wouldn't do it immediately because it definitely seems kind of a little weird, right? But I would try to do it sooner than later. So we use Proposify ourselves. We also use Panadoc. This is Panadoc. And you can be efficient in all of your templates, because you have you can upload it and have templates. You can also put pictures, and it can look very professional. There's tons of templates they provide you. What it does automatically, instead of manually doing it, is it creates these areas of, like, I call them tokens. So like first name, last name, business. So anytime you sync your contact information or business information, it will automatically update it for you. So you're saving a lot of time, and you're able to have analytics tracking the proposal. Is this interesting to you guys? Is this something you feel like could help you virtually, just kind of understanding, where are people at when they're looking at proposals? And this doesn't have to be proposals. This could also be anything, a type of document you're looking to track. Find out where they're reading, what they're reading, what they're not reading. If you guys can put this in your chat, or even unmute yourself and say, yeah, this is useful. I can see how I can use myself doing this. And I'm happy, again, to loop back with you. You guys message us directly to walk you through how we use it and how to set this up. It's pretty easy. The tutorials in here are awesome too. And they let you do this for free for about 14 days, I believe. So you guys can try it out as well. All right, so now we're shifting to virtual marketing. What does that look like? To be found online, it comes down to content. Having, which is SEO, search engine optimization, because you also want to be top of mind. If someone's looking for your particular service, if it's, again, financial advising, or if it's a doctor, or if it's even food, that all comes down to content. If you don't produce content that you put out online on your website, you're really not going to be found for it. You can deploy project management systems using SEMrush, which is great for understanding, like, what is the keywords that people are looking for me. There's other free tools as well, like Uber Suggests, or you can use Google's keyword tools. So if you're creating content, you want to figure out what are the buyer's intention or the customer intention. What are keywords that they're looking for? We actually did a whole workshop on this. So again, we're going to do a smaller workshop specifically on this and doing content strategy. But before you put that piece of content out there, you really should understand, what does the journey look like right now for my buyer or for my customer? And again, leveraging a Drift chatbot is going to help you on the marketing end of it. And with all the different content, you can then put out and post on social media, or any other platforms that you're using as well, to spread out. We call it pollinate across multiple platforms. So what is content? Some people just think it's blog articles, a blog post, but it could be white papers, it could be ebooks, it could be quizzes, it could be a checklist, it could be infographics, podcasts, videos, newsletter, thought leaderships, how-to guides, case studies, webinars, for example. So there's a lot of different content pieces that you guys can create here and bring value to your customers. So, but to really understand your customer, you should really do a buyer persona. No, it's not just target market. It's your buyer persona is very more specific. If your target market is homeowners who have an income of 100,000 and up in the Natick area, that's a target market. But what you want to find out is, maybe it's the soccer mom who lives in Natick and she stays home, so she has kids. Okay, so what triggers her to buy something? What is she doing now? She's on social media. When is she on social media? Well, she's busy with the kids during the day. When do you think she's going to be opening up emails and checking messages? So understanding, really getting into the mindset of that particular target buyer persona. We're going to send you a template so you can fill this out yourself. That's going to help you have better conversions, and it's going to make your message more personalized. You can't do a blanket approach. You really have to do a hyper-focused approach. Let's see, Suzanne, I use Zoom often. What would you be advantage of using Loom? I've got a small but successful coaching training business. I'm just answering. I saw a message here from Suzanne because I know I talked about Zoom and Loom. So Loom, Zoom is good for like live. It's still good to record after, but when you are done with it, it has to download, so it takes time. So if it's only a 2-minute Zoom, that video that it creates will probably take a few minutes to download. Then it has to take storage in your hard drive or in the cloud. I know right now Zoom is clocking a lot if it's cloud-based, because I think everyone's on Zoom. Versus Loom, it's instantaneous. Once you finish recording, you can also run meetings too and still have Zoom and Loom working at the same time. Right when you're done, you can send the Loom link right away to somebody. So they're gonna get you don't have to wait. And so that's the really big difference between Zoom and Loom. It's for quick communication without having someone live. So you can do just giving feedback. Sometimes actually setting a really long email or a long Slack message, I'll just do a Loom video. It's just quicker and it's going to articulate a lot better than email. All right, so featured case studies here. So McDonald's dropped a lot of the ad and promotional budget, and it was a shift here for Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. As you see, their revenue went up when McDonald's went down. And I bring this case study up because there are a lot of your competitors are retracting and pulling back. So if you figure out what you're comfortable doing, maintaining and keeping things intact from a marketing standpoint, if it's ad buy and other different things that you're doing for marketing, we're seeing more people go into Facebook ads and Google ads, retargeting ads, programmatic. There's all these different ways to getting front and being front and center when everyone else is pulling back. So we had a central place to log all the different activities you're having in sales, but now marketing systems. So I'm sure you guys can recognize MailChimp, Constant Contact. There's so many of these marketing automation systems out there, HubSpot, SharpSpring. So here's how it works. So from the first tier, you got the marketing tier. So all the things that you're doing right now that you have, right, which is social, SEO, your blog articles, your different landing pages, your forms, all that is housed, and you want to know what campaigns and what activities are helping you, what type of communication or content assets that you're putting out there is working. You can lead score it too and segment these lists. Then all that funnels into your sales platform, whichever one that you choose to use, and then managing that customer relationship. After you understand really where that interaction is coming from by marketing, you're nurturing that relationship through some type of sales CRM. You can really create that success using the customer success portal on the bottom here. And HubSpot is all in one. SharpSpring, you can see all the different analytics here, looking at revenue, what type of ideas and campaigns are working for you that you're doing right now from a marketing standpoint. You should be tracking everything that you're doing the best you can. It's not always going to be 100%. But if you can have a tool to help you track that, it's got to be smarter than working harder and having a shotgun approach. You're really focusing on what's working, what's not working. MailChimp recently just updated their marketing automation tools because the price point for HubSpot and SharpSpring is a lot higher. They're a few $100s. They can range from $300 to $1,000 per month, versus like MailChimp for $50 to $100 so dollars. That's a more common price point for a lot of small businesses. So it's a happy medium using enterprise level to a more local level. And Constant Contact here, for those that are familiar with Constant Contact or have it, we see clients go back and forth. Whatever makes sense for you. We personally like MailChimp better, but again, it really depends on what is it that you're trying to accomplish between this software platform. So from an operational standpoint, so we covered sales and marketing. Now operationally, what does this look like virtually for you? So you want to create an agenda for every meeting. We do a lot of Zoom meetings with my team because they are remote. What we're doing is we're doing a lot less meetings. You want to make sure you have a clear agenda, because if you don't really need to have a meeting, don't even have a meeting, especially if there's too many people in there, because it doesn't give an opportunity for everyone in that meeting to share their thoughts or ideas. So what we actually do is we're a G Suite business. So we use Google Drive and all Google products. Other people have Microsoft or they use Dropbox. So we share a Google document that we can collaborate digitally and virtually. By sharing a document with an idea and ask people for feedback, you can utilize Zoom like this to just have, here's what I'm trying, if you're going back to your team and you're trying to run a campaign or a lead generation campaign or a customer retention ideation, let's take a half an hour here, guys, and let's talk about how are we going to retain our clients and make sure they're their service and they're happy, now you know your next steps. So instead of having another meeting to follow up about all those different tasks and next steps, you just have a document that you can share. The CEO from Twitter actually mentioned that by having the documentation, it gives everyone their own time to digest the information, be very thoughtful and mindful, and then answer back. Versus when you're in a group setting, it's hard for everyone to answer back in that type of value that's fairly clear and concise. Record all of your meetings, and you can also transcribe. Like Zoom meeting actually has a way for you to transcribe. So after this meeting, I can also get transcription here, because there's accountability. You know, we let all of our clients know that we're recording it. It pops up too, and I think you guys got the notification when you got in here. I might say we're gonna deliver this on Tuesday, and you're like, I thought you said Thursday. So playing back that video recording is accountability there. The transcription helps because you can actually do a search. So you can type in like delivery time, or you type in the keyword Tuesday or Thursday, and that you can find exactly where that was mentioned. I'm going to go a little bit into a couple tools that do that transcriptions too. Blackout calendar to stay on track. So we call that time boxing. Make sure you guys are very not just sensitive to the time, but you're very mindful, and your time is precious. So all the way you are scheduling all the meetings, give some time in between. Having back-to-back Zoom meetings can be very hard to maintain. So you give yourself a buffer, because people might need some time to log in or log out. You need to take some notes after a meeting. I caught myself doing that before, just doing back-to-back meetings. So make sure that you're blocking out time to just like reset yourself. And then focusing on team culture. So, you know, Kelly and I, who she does all of my ops, you know, I'm always asking her some ideas of like, you know, some icebreakers. What else are we doing that we can, let's have just a quick team meeting to talk about something that's not business related. You know, because again, we don't have our culture. We're not in an office. You can't just swing by or have this water cooler conversation. If you're typically swinging by a desk to talk to a manager or a coworker about a project or an idea, or their family, you can do that with Loom. That's why Loom is also another great thing. You record yourself and say, hey, Cindy, just want to check in with you. How are the kids? You know, my kids are kind of crazy. They're all over the place. I just found this Facebook group that gives you ideas on all this stuff, on how to, you know, use Alexa to have the kids busy for half an hour. By the way, just want to check in with you about that product that we're doing. Like, were you able to get that out? So that comes out a lot better, because that's kind of what that's the interaction that you're probably having when you were in the office. So using Loom, you can have that similar interaction in a video aspect, and then just send an email out, you know, so they can watch that video. So it really comes back in again to building that culture, and then icebreakers with the team. All right, so operations, communications, and these are the different tools that we're using. Asana, ClickUp, Monday. There's things like Teamwork, Basecamp, Slack. Crisp is a audio remover, background noise remover. So it's really great. It actually works. You can have someone talking to you literally right next to you. If it's your kids or even like a dog moving around, or if you're in a cafe, and Crisp will remove all of that. It sounds like you're in a quiet room, which is amazing. And Voicea on the bottom right here, this is that transcriber for any of your webinars that you're doing or any of your meetings you're doing. So you can just focus here. It actually would transcribe all your meeting notes for you and break it into different subject types. So Slack, this is our community, our center of truth for our communications. All of our communications right now funnels through Slack. This is free. We have different channels for departments. We have customer channels. We have private channels. We have leadership channels. And if you want to bring in your customers too, they can also engage with you. So you can create different levels of access, so they don't see everything. There's also workspaces, meaning if your business has its own Slack channel, I have my Slack channel, I can invite you to each of our own Slack channels. So you can toggle through different other businesses' Slack channels and see what's happening. And so that you can create a community as well here. we're going to be building this out for a few of our clients, and they want to link in Zoom, so you can create, as you're having a conversation. This is, as you can see, the example here is my Inthink team channel. So we're having fun with some culture here, but say, hey guys, we're going to have a team meeting. I can actually create a Zoom link right in here. I can create tasks in Asana right away as well. So there is a lot of great, powerful integrations with Slack. Good chance if you have something, it's going to integrate with Slack. If it doesn't, you can use Zapier. Zapier is an integrating tool. As long as it's cloud-based, it's going to talk to. So you can also share files. So it's like, again, having a conversation in an office, this is really the closest thing to it, because it's instant messaging. It's almost like texting. And oh yeah, let me send you that file. So if you're gonna go to someone's cubicle and you're talking with Katie, like, yeah, let me send you that file. Here it is. But now you do it here. Hey Katie, how you doing? I just talked to this customer. Let me send this file. Here's everything they need. Here's the paperwork, and you just upload it. We use Asana for all of our project management. Definitely being virtual right now. If you're organizing, you're using things like Excel sheets, or you're using different programs, that's fine. We like Asana. There's a lot of other project management tools out there. Here you can see there's company objectives. You can break your projects through, like if it's revenue, if it's customer base, if it's customer experience. If it's a revenue goal, like this first one here as an example, you didn't have mini projects underneath it. So maybe you have a campaign for one product line. You have another campaign for another product line. So all those different mini projects, we call those sprints, they feed up to the bigger objective. So having a project management tool that gives you good visibility of what's happening, then you can also look at the progress. Is it on track, not on track? Is it off track? So then you have an audit trail too. So if your team is working remotely and you're trying to figure out where are they in that project, how far along are they? Are they actually working, and are they in the project? They should have been in there. You can actually see when someone signs in and they're touching the project. So that audit trail is actually really powerful and useful to know if someone's in that project and how often. A lot of the communication that happens in Slack can happen here, because you're talking about that particular project and that task. And then there's full transparency, because you're seeing everything that's happening. So, using a tool like Asana, there's other ones out there, is going to really help you kind of stay organized and keep accountability across the team. So for example, you have the different projects on the left side here, and these are all the different tasks associated. And then if I'm looking to edit like a podcast that we're working on, it was due yesterday, there's could be comments right here, and you can have different people follow. So you have a team of people that are responsible or need to be in the know. Typically you have one person that's responsible. You don't have multiple people on a task responsible. At least one person should be responsible, and anyone that's in the know should be down here. All right. I know I went through a lot of stuff. I'm talking a little fast. Take a little break here, just to kind of slow down a little bit. But hopefully you guys will love learning. This is important for everyone. Hopefully you get into some value here as well. All right, so you have all this information. Now what do I do? You got to track it, analytics. So it's not just Google Drive. I'm sorry, not Google Drive, Google Analytics, but there's a lot of other tools as well to help you track everything that you're doing. You can create different dashboards. This is very easy to do on Google Design Studio. You can do heat mapping as well. So if you want to find out on your website, where is someone going? Are they going to the top left? Are they going to the bottom? So you can see a lot of people clicking on the logo over here. Are they seeing the offer? Are they seeing, my message that I'm trying to leave? That's like, I have a really important message I want to communicate with my customers. Using a tool like Hotjar is and it's free. You can actually do 2,000 visitors per month, and it's free. And it's like about $9 per month once you do the full features. And then if they're on their website, where are they coming? So they come to the homepage, then the product page, and then they go to the cart and checkout. Where are they dropping off? This is all powerful information to help make sure that your website is doing what you expect it to do for you. So you're probably thinking, okay, this is great. Maybe some of this might make sense to me, some of it doesn't, but how do I do this myself? So what we're also doing too is we're creating a rapid response business plan process that we're doing for our clients right now. And if you don't know how to do this, you feel free to reach out to us. This is something we can help you implement and build out for you. So what does that really include? So really understanding your business and what are the strategies that you're trying to accomplish right now, uncovering the challenges and opportunities within your industry now that it's definitely changed. What type of messaging is working, what isn't working. So understand what your clients want to hear. So it's very comprehensive. Competitive audit, content audit, understanding what the new customer might look like right now, and what does that journey look like with the changing behaviors. And then you get a 2-month plan. I mean, there's definitely plans throughout the week, but you get 2 months plan. So that's the type of like quick response business plan that we're putting together for a lot of our current clients. And if there's something that makes sense for you, we can help you out with that as well. So I'm going to open it up to having any questions right now. I definitely went a little bit over. I apologize. There's a lot of information here. So any questions, you can unmute yourself, fire away. Someone must have a question.
Hey, Kham, it's Jeannie.
Hey, Jeannie.
How are you?
Doing
This
good.
is great.
Thanks for joining.
Hey, I hadn't heard about Loom before, and I know that you helped us to get our Zoom up and running, which we use all the time. But are you going to get into how to use this, or
Yeah, we're gonna have another.
savvy?
We're gonna have another webinar that's it's gonna talk specifically to Zoom and Loom.
Okay, that would be great.
And how we use it now, because we use both, and what are the right scenarios to use each.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Kham.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Stay healthy.
You as well. Anyone else? No, even if it's a question about some quick wins for today or tomorrow for your business, like I can help you answer those right now. Okay, feel free to jump in anytime if you guys have any questions. So next steps is we're gonna, if you guys, we're giving out 30 minutes of our time. Anyone within my strategic team, you can book some time with them. You can also text Rapid Biz Plan to 31996, and we'll send you a link, and you'll actually see how the bot works. It'll actually book an appointment with you, and we're gonna send out a follow-up of this presentation webinar and also resources for you guys throughout as we're building this up, because we custom built this webinar for you today, and we worked pretty rapidly this week to do that, and then we're going to be doing other resources and templates to send out to you guys that you can do in-house yourself. So I like to usually end on this slide. The future depends on what you do today. So I really hope that you guys got a lot of value today, some ideas. Feel free to reach out to me or my team at any time. We're here for you. We're in it together. And it's staying positive and having the right mindset to get through this. I know some folks have a lot more challenges than others, but definitely reach out to your peers and reach out to other people, because you're not alone. And having a lot of like-minded people working together is how we come to solutions. So if you want to reach out to me, my email's right here, and this is my cell number directly here. So thank you for your time and your attention today, guys. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. So I really appreciate your time. Go out there and crush it. Stay positive, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.